Hello, Facebook world. This is Dan Hartman, the director of the Glensheen Mansion in Duluth, Minnesota, and I'm coming live from my house here in Duluth. So you may see children, you may hear children. It's because we're at my house. Otherwise, I do have the fire going, so that crackle you hear is real. It is a real fireside chat with the director. I'm just trying to corny this up and make it kind of quirky and fun. So today we're going to talk about Helens Room. Easily one of the most popular rooms in the house. We recently had a light fixture March Madness bracket, and the light fixtures that won across the whole house, Helens. So we'll talk a little bit about those today for sure, because I feel like I'd be, not listening to my audience if that was the case. Good afternoon to you too, Deborah. So on that note, I will be trying to look at the commentary as we go through this. So please feel free to let me know if you have questions or ideas. But also let me know if I'm screwing something up, like last time. So, yeah, I think that's part of the fun about being live is this is not rehearsed. I came up with the topic probably half an hour ago. And yeah, I think it's fun to be authentic and real. So with that being said, I think I'm going to dig into this. Good afternoon to Mindy, and hello from Heather in Wisconsin. That's pretty fun. So, yeah, let's dig into Helen's room. I almost did what I did last time. So this is Helen. So easily also one of the more popular of our Glensheen characters. She moves down to Arizona. She's a very active person in politics in her own right. Does a lot of great things for the state of Arizona, especially when it comes to desegregating housing. She does a lot of work on that initiative. She actually becomes known statewide for this as well. Hi, Sue. And so, Helen's got her own great history within Glensheen. But a lot of us who work there love this shot. This shows that she's, a little bit of a sportsman herself and not afraid to pick up a gun. And I think that speaks a lot to Helen in a variety of different ways. So let's talk about her room, though. So this is the Helen's room you're used to seeing. This is pretty much what it looks like today. I will give you guys a little sneak peek. I don't know if we'll be able to pull this off because of COVID now. But our intent for this summer is to roll this rug up, which is honestly not doing great because of the sun and some water damage from the 80s. And so we're going to put a new walking lane. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but we're going to put a walking lane right to the window. It's actually one of the best views of the formal garden in Glensheen. And so it'll be a great way to get you more immersed into the room and see kind of the greatness of this space in general. Thank you, Mindy. And thanks, Nick, for watching quite a few of these, by the way. I love your photo, by the way. So we'll move on. This is the famous tile of her fireplace, and you'll notice the mosaic tile is in the same colors of where she went to college at Vassar. And she is attending Vassar when Glensheen is built. And so that's our guess for why these colors are there. But we've never really seen anything in writing, but it makes sense. Here's a close-up shot of the mosaic tiles. And just think of the work of doing this. This was not a quick job by any means. And I just love the custom detailing in Glensheen and how much work really went into this building. I think it's pretty impressive. You see this design work here, see this design work here. You'll notice this is all part of this Art Nouveau style. And you'll see that Art Nouveau, even in the mosaic tiling, is really the best showcase of this in Glensheen. And for a lot of people, that's why they love Helen's room, is it has this almost French Art Nouveau style. And I think it's best showcased by our famous light fixtures, which I'll show soon. So I like this photo because I don't think it was intentional, but notice how tarnished the silver is. So this is that plated silver. And in case you ever thought we were lying about it being plated silver, you can clearly see it in this photo. Honestly, it actually looks kind of cool in some ways. I remember I saw this one time and I thought it was intentional. But no, this is what our silver looks like in February, April if we don't polish it. And so here you can see a polished version, and even this is not fully, it's not as good as it looks right now. Our staff has been polishing a lot of our silver, and this piece in particular looks fantastic. I apologize, I don't have a picture of it today because honestly I'm not on site. So when I do, you'll see it. But you can really see in the image, you can even see, kind of almost see me in the shot. And I would laugh if I am wearing the same sweatshirt. It looks like it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Alex. Yeah, we're all in our houses. So Jane's at her house and I'm at mine. But you'll probably see more of her once we open our doors again, hopefully sometime this summer. But what also is famous about the light fixtures are a couple things. Notice that the roots grow into the stem, then grow into the base of the flower, and then the actual flower itself. Notice that these light fixtures have KZL glass. It's this very famous glass company in the United States at the time Glensheen was built. It's one of the few American glass companies that rivaled the French, actually. And they're famous for a variety of things. One of them is this pattern or style you see on the flowers. It's, for me, the most obvious sign that you're looking at KZL glass. And you will see these pieces in a lot of historic homes throughout the country, especially these larger mansions like Glensheen. And as I tour the country and get to visit my compatriots at other house museums, I will not going to lie, I look for the KZL glass. That being said, they're also famous for how different they look when they're on and when they're off. So once again, off and on. They are a different color entirely. What also has changed in recent years at Glensheen is we have added LED filament light bulbs. So it actually has that same yellowish, orangish tinge that the original Edison bulbs would have had in the house when the house was built. And so really the light fixtures are a more accurate reflection of 1908 than they have ever been on tour if you've visited Glensheen in the last 40 years. And for a lot of us, it's been kind of fun to see the original designer's intent of the look and feel of the room with the closer look of the original lights. Plus, they're LEDs, so we are saving a ton of money on energy. So thanks to Minnesota Power for the sponsorship of that. Yeah, here's a close-up shot of that KZL glass. I would love these in my house. I think this is one of the cooler pieces of Glensheen. I personally think the light fixtures are one of the standout reasons for Glensheen as a house museum nationally. I don't know of another house museum that has the light fixtures and fireplaces that Glensheen does. This is, though, my favorite piece of the light fixtures in Helens Room. And it's heavily overlooked. We don't know when, but at some point it broke. You can see the crack on the bottom. Good shot of the LED filament bulb, by the way, at the bottom. And this also has just been recently polished. This photo is of it being very heavily tarnished. But it is just dripping of that Art Nouveau style. It's beautiful KZL glass. It's just this beautiful, it almost looks like a pendant coming down. Yeah, it's a great piece that I think always gets overlooked because it's in the back of the room, but it's worth its attention. Now, this is Helen's desk in that classic Art Nouveau style again. You can see the arts and crafts lights, the bowl, excuse me, the vase, and classic Glensheen. It's a beautiful desk. There's a lot of reasons to even just enjoy the desk. I like the items on it. Most of the desks actually have little writing pads. You can see the highly decorative writing pad here. You can see the McClure's magazine. I love the close-up shot of the fountain pen ink. It's kind of fun to see these old pieces of history. But my favorite part of the desk is my favorite little secret desk. Is that on the back of the desk, there's an entire hidden cabinet that pops out. And so here's a photograph of that hidden cabinet, which I think is great. It's a perfect place to hide some letters, a perfect place to hide like a little notebook. And typically this desk is, up against the wall. And so it takes a little bit of work to shimmy the desk over, pop this thing open and take out whatever is yours. But it's one of our great parts of our old Nooks and Crannies tour. I will say we are redoing this tour. We're going to call it the New Spaces tour. But that right there is, I think, a cool thing that the vast majority of visitors never see. And I think it's pretty cool. The one in Marjorie's room is pretty great, too. And most of my staff think the Marjorie desk one's cooler, but I like this one. Yeah, Reggie, I wish there was more cash in there, especially now. I don't know why it's loading. Oh, it's too bad that's loading. So, anyways, this is the chair, which obviously it's in Helen's room, but the photo that I was trying to show you there is there's actually a photograph of Helen in her wedding dress sitting in this chair in the corner of the room on her wedding day, which I think is one of those great lucky things that we have is we have so much archival material. We have the original furniture. That was my daughter, Olivia, who is 3. Anyways, and then, you have just so much there. So that's why we have such, excitement about Punching, is that we know so much about the backstory. We know so much about it was originally. And it's amazing that we have so much of everything still there. So for us who are big Glen Sheen nerds, I really enjoy this photo. This is a photo of what Helen's room looked like when Elizabeth lived in it in the mid-70s or late 60s. I think this photo is maybe even 69. But I think it's just kind of fun to see the lived-in space versus the museum space. So we staged the entire house generally to look like these 1910 photos we have from Western architect. And those are a little biased because we know that, like any normal family, if a national publication is going to come take photos of your house, you're going to stage your house. And that's what the Condons did. And so we staged the house based off how they staged the house. But that is by no means how they lived in the house. Man, I would love if we had more 1910 lived-in photos so that we had a better idea of how things were used. But anyways, here, this, you can see, is how Elizabeth lived. And it is a different sense of that room than you would give it today. And yeah, I wish we had more of these photos, and if we don't really have too many. But it gives you a good idea of normal human activity. I love the TV because people are going to watch TV in their bedroom in the 1960s, 70s. I love the picture of Chester above in the corner because it's her dad. And so you have all of these lived-in pieces. Here's another shot of the fireplace. Here, the fireplace has a screen because, I bet they learned that they wanted a screen later. And you'll notice it's not historically accurate. It doesn't match the rest of the design of the room. You have a picture of Clara on the far right to flank Chester on the other side. And there's some, living plants in the house, which, personally, I think it'd be kind of fun to have living plants back in the house, but we don't do that because it's an attractant for bugs. We have debated bringing fake plants back in, but there's just an element that's added with that. But yeah, I think it's just kind of fun. And so I'm going to end on this note that one of the fun little pieces in the mansion that every once in a while we bring out on social media is old Grumpy Cat. And so here's this little piece. It's probably the size of my palm, and it sits on one of the dressers, and it's just this grumpy looking cat, which I think is kind of funny and cute. Cool. And my son Logan has come to join us. And I'll go back. So thanks for watching another Facebook Live. I don't think I've seen any major questions. But I just want to say thank you for watching. And I recently learned that some of the Condon family watch these too. And so thank you for watching. Please let me know if there's something, you want me to cover more. But I personally enjoy doing these things. It's kind of fun for me to nerd out a little bit. And you can see, hopefully, how much I'm passionate about this place, but how much, the staff of Glen Sheen is too. And a lot of us are excited for Glen Sheen to hopefully open sometime this summer. So we can talk about to all of you in person. And hopefully these Facebook Lives can then leave my living room and be on site again. So hope all is well, guys. Be safe out there. Talk to you later.